This presentation is about business etiquette in Thailand. General overview. Thailand is a Southeast Asian country bordered by Malaysia, Myanmar, Cambodia, and Laos. It is divided up into 76 provinces that make up 4 zones: the North, Northeast, Central, and South. A constitutional monarchy, it's governed by the king. Just recently, the prince took over after the late king passed away in October at the age of 88 after 70 years on the throne, making him the world's longest reigning monarch. With a population of 68 million, the official language is Thai with additional regional dialects. English is understood predominantly for business and international transaction purposes, a statistic that is increasing with the booming tourism industry. Also, English is now being taught in most schools, so the younger generations are much more exposed. On average, Thai children receive about 6.5 years of schooling with a literacy rate of 95%, the highest in Southeast Asia. The government highly values education and has recently increased the national budget for funds allocated to education. Thailand's economy is heavily dependent on exports, which make up about 60% of their GDP. Rice is their main crop, and about 60% of the labor force in Thailand is in the agriculture industry. Thailand has been a leader in the world rice market for centuries. More recently, manufacturing and high technology are leading Thailand's export growth. Other products, such as grain, sugar, fish and fishery products, and rubber, make up their exports. The US is Thailand's largest export market and second largest supplier after Japan. Thailand's imports are predominantly made up of machinery and parts, vehicles, electronics, chemicals, crude oil and fuels, and iron and steel. Thailand has gained a very unique reputation for its religious culture and devotion to Buddhism, practiced by nearly 95% of the country's population. While the Thai constitution allows religious freedom for its citizens, the king is required by law to be Theravada Buddhist. The remaining 5% is made up of Islam, Christianity, and Hinduism. Religion has a huge impact on Thai culture and it perpetuates into all aspects of life. The Thai persona is largely devoted to peace and aimed to avoid conflict and confrontation of any kind. Monks receive preferential treatment in all arenas and are treated with utmost respect. They have their own designated bathrooms, waiting areas, dining areas, preferred seating on public transportation, etc. Oftentimes, monks are asked to attend business meetings, celebrations, and public gatherings so they can give their blessing. Most buildings have a traditional Buddhist marking on them to the effect that God is always present. Most buildings also contain a God house on the premises. Religion also affects the scheduling and timing of most things. Thais plan their lives per their religious routine and schedule important dates and events based on auspiciousness, not convenience. For example, the launch of a new product will be scheduled based on when they believe it is a favorable or opportune time, promising success. Thais are generally very welcoming and want to get to know you. With that said, outside of a business setting, it is appropriate to discuss family and life stories. They rarely want to talk business 100% of the time. However, it is extremely looked down upon to discuss the monarchy, issues with national security, or potential threats to their nation. They like to hear about what foreigners think of their country. However, they will take complaints about their country very personally, so try to keep to positive experiences. They are also very direct and straight to the point, so there is no taboo regarding age, marital status, or weight, like in modern-day America. They often refer to weight loss or gain since last time they saw you, and often use the term fat because they do not fully understand that it can be insulting. Often, they like to attribute any weight gain to their delicious Thai food and take pride in doing so. As a sign of respect, you may address someone, male or female, older or younger, by adding kun as a prefix to their first name. Every Thai is given a nickname at birth, and once you get to know them more closely, they may invite you to call them by their nickname. These names are usually single-syllable Thai or English words such as colors, fruits, or simply shortenings of their first name. They also often confuse foreigners' first and last names, so Miss Tuttle would most likely be Miss Susan. Addressing a doctor is the only time you would use a prefix other than kun. Otherwise, they do not use different titles or for different professions or qualifications. Conducting business in English, especially in Bangkok, is largely acceptable. During presentations or business meetings, make sure to speak clearly and enhance topics or products with visuals. Translators are also a popular alternative. Business proposals and contracts in English are also acceptable. Business cards are often exchanged at the beginning of a meeting with the eldest, most senior person first. A high-quality business card goes a long way in Thailand, especially if it contains English on one side and Thai on the other. A copy of any proposal or document should be given to everyone present, again, starting with the eldest or most senior. As stated above, Thais like to get to know you, so building a strong foundation to the relationship is important for business negotiations. Generally speaking, Thais are not confident decision makers and will often take a few days to discuss options in order to confirm or deny any business arrangements. The business pace in Thailand is much slower than Westerners are used to, so do not rush any potential Thai partners, as they view that as confrontational and will most likely avoid continuing relations. Most Thais, especially in a business setting, will greet foreigners with a handshake. A Thai-to-Thai interaction may include a Y, a slight bow of the head with palms pressed together at the chest, but that is not expected of foreigners. Personal touch and signs of affection like hand-holding are not accepted well, although this is slowly changing with younger generations. While touching is generally a sign of acceptance and trust, it should never be initiated by the foreigner. It is important to follow the lead of the Thai you are interacting with and get a feel for their level of comfort depending on the situation or setting. Despite the heat, standard office attire is still appropriate, as most business buildings and transportations have air conditioning set at a low temperature. When conducting business in Thailand, it is appropriate for men to wear business suits and women to wear below-the-knee skirts. Men often have to wear undershirts to avoid sweat-soaked business coats, and while a tie is not always necessary, at least a collared shirt is standard. Because of the conservative culture, sleeveless tops are ill-advised for women unless a jacket is worn over. Shoes are only removed in the occasion of visiting someone's home or entering a temple or a holy space. In the latter case, guests must be barefoot. Thailand's business schedule is that like the US, with normal business hours 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. with an hour for lunch 12 to 1 p.m. It is polite to make business appointments a few days in advance with a confirmation the day of. Like our culture, arriving late is considered rude, but a courtesy call is appreciated. Bangkok is known for its terrible traffic, so time planning is necessary. Business professionals will usually receive a briefing from their own company or organization if they're going to be dealing with large government executives, officials, or royals. Thailand has an extensive list of official public holidays because of the blending of Thai, Chinese, and Western cultural influences. Most employees have a few days off for each celebrated New Year, all the Thai Buddhist holidays, and the largest holiday being Songkran, the Thai New Year, celebrated mid-April. A very famous celebration, it is advised to avoid business trips in April, especially in big cities like Bangkok, Phuket, or Chiang Mai, as most employees will be on leave. A few tips for general etiquette. Always return a Y if someone Ys you first. It is not common to both Y and shake hands. It is usually one or the other. Do not Y children, waiters, taxi drivers, maids, or other service staff. And remember to bow your head lower than usual when weighing elders. It is normal for elders to simply reply to a Y with a nod of acknowledgement. Do not step over people's things or touch anything with your feet. Do not touch a person's head or pass anything overhead. Take your shoes off and leave cameras outside when entering a temple. Never stand in the doorway or step on the doorsill of a temple. Again, follow the Thai's lead and remain respectful. Do not point at anyone, rather use your entire hand to motion towards something or in a general direction. Dining etiquette tips. Thai meals are eaten with a fork and spoon. Use the fork to push food onto your spoon and the spoon to put food into your mouth. Soup bowls are for soup only. Do not confuse using them for rice. Thai meals are usually served family style. Be careful not to get rice into any of the other dishes. Do not put several different foods on top of your rice at the same time. Instead, put a small amount of one dish, eat it, and then put something different on your plate. It is impolite to leave a large amount of food uneaten on your plate. This can be avoided by the previous point. Drinking alcohol is common at dinner, but definitely not at lunch. Also, servers will always try to keep your glass full, so stay aware of how much you have drunk. Never blow your nose or sneeze at the dining table. Make sure you remove yourself to the restroom. Especially in a business setting, a toast for good luck is popular. In Thai, chayo. Gift giving is normally only appropriate when a relationship has already been established. Thais most often appreciate small gifts from home countries rather than large or lavish items. Small things that display your home country or business logo are most common. Stay away from gifting perfumes or handkerchiefs, as those are viewed as intimate items intended only for significant others. Do not be alarmed or offended if a Thai does not open a gift in front of you. They do not like to publicly display emotion and will often set it aside to open later. You should follow their lead and do the same if a situation arises. Like most of the rest of the world, Thais think Americans are disrespectful because we do not honor our elders like they do. They think we're entrepreneurial, always trying to find new ways to make money with a can-do approach. Fat, Thais are smaller with a less fattening diet. Ignorant, they say Americans get Taiwan and Thailand confused. Litigious, we are confrontational and will sue over anything. One-handed eaters, while they use two hands, fork and spoon, we cut up our food and eat with one hand. Opinionated, we have an opinion for everything and not afraid to voice it. Punctual, Thais are used to Thai time partially due to extreme traffic and move at a much slower pace, so they consider Americans to be ahead of time. Promiscuous, mainly due to media, they view Americans as extremely provocative and highly sexualized. Wealthy and spoiled, they think we have outrageous and frivolous spending habits and complain about first world problems such as not having Wi-Fi. Wasteful, while one of their most popular sayings is every grain of rice matters, they think we throw away a lot of food. In conclusion, Thais will receive you very well, so be kind and respectful of their country and religious customs. Arrive on time, dressed appropriately, with business cards and documents for all attendees, always addressing the most senior person first. Spend time building a relationship as a foundation to lasting business arrangements. Follow their lead with timing, do not rush any decisions or cause conflict or confrontation, and always agree to a meeting in the future, business or personal.